Hey guys, happy Friday. We're live and we are doing something different than Instagram. I'm sorry, than Instagram, than Whose Side, because Tom's in trouble. Let me turn everything on. Let me turn everything on. Let me turn everything on. And, Tom is in trouble. We're going to listen to some of Billie Lee's response. It was amazing. She did pretty good. I have a lot to say about it, but it's Friday. This is RealiTEA Krista Marie. We're live on all the things. I wish I was live on TikTok, but I have to give my ID, which I have to go get because I don't. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Erin. Thanks for being here. Everybody's here. Yep. Okay, so we're going to do something different, completely different. And let me turn this one down. I like this one. Okay. So Tom Sandoval. Okay, so we all know what happened this week, right? We get caught up just real quick. Billie Lee accused them of being on drugs. His new girlfriend. Why can't I use my camera? Oh, there we go. Being on drugs, and then Billie Lee's podcast went yesterday. She dropped it yesterday to respond to the live that Adam did that we watched the other day, which was a hot fucking mess. And we are going to just go a little bit of a response because she did really well. She basically, she proved her stuff, the stuff allegations against her. Now the stuff about Victoria, like about her house and stuff, I haven't gotten that far yet. About her, like, oh, I own my own house. Apparently she lives with Tom now. T was also on the podcast. Now T started dating Tom in December. I'm sorry, stopped dating Tom in December. So we're going on after filming. And my biggest thing here is I don't hear anything about the cast. I'm sweating. I'm sorry. I had my fan on me and then I flew off me. So I haven't heard anything about the cast. Tom Schwartz is not following Victoria and Sandoval any longer. And I think he's in a bad way. That's my opinion. Now, like, if you have a drug problem, you can always call 211. It's the first call for help. I just need to put that out there. I'm also a recovering addict who is not self-medicated, so that's why I'm all over the place. And so if you're listening to this on the Who's Starting On podcast side, you can come over here 3 times a week, probably 3 times a week, Wednesday, Friday, definitely 12:15, and watch the Crazy Live where I'm constantly fidgeting. Can't help it. But everybody's here, so I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the live chat. So please comment, subscribe, share. Please do all that stuff. So, and then after that, we're going to go into Teen Mom. Now, Teen Mom is playing, is in, what am I trying to say? Is airing right now. Now, because I'm so used to Bravo, like, I haven't even paid attention to MTV. So we're like 3 episodes in, and it is freaking good. It is so good. And we're going to talk about Amber's situation. Amber has not changed one fucking bit. She's also diagnosed with the same things I have, BPD and all that stuff. So I get her personality. She's a fucking mess, dude. She has this, and I don't know, this new boyfriend that she has, his name's Gary. We meet him on the show. Yeah. So, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Let me be right back. I don't know why it's so hot here all of a sudden. But yeah, so we meet this Gary guy on the show. She is still being abusive. Her daughter wants nothing to do with her, which is a shame. Her daughter is like, they're all 15. Another thing that shocked the hell out of me is Janelle's back. She has left David. David, holy shit. Remember he killed their dog? He unalived their freaking dog. He like took it back in the woods and unalived it. He did with his daughter. Like that motherfucker. She was not allowed back on the show after she was with him after that happened because of him. She's now left him and she's back on the show as far as it looks for me. But dude, holy moly, man, she has left him, and I think it's because she's afraid. She had to leave North Carolina. Did I turn Instagram on? Yeah. She had to leave North Carolina just to get away from him. She had to go to a different state. I don't like him. I've always hated David, but we're going to talk about, guys, I need your opinion on Tom. Tom is not my friend. Obviously, he's not my friend. That intervention needed to happen. He didn't show up to it. Now, I believe he's in trouble. And we saw this girl, like, we don't even need to listen to like Billie Lee's opinions because the girl proved it. And I feel like she's obviously telling the truth. And there's also, she has receipts of correspondence with Josh, who is the assistant who did start this. I'm worried about Tom. Okay. Not showing up to meetings and stuff. So Billie Lee was also there for Ariana for the first 6 months and did not talk to Tom. They didn't tell us that during filming. She ended up eventually what happened was Ariana was gone for a while, and the dogs and the pets were there, and Tom needed a pet sitter, so he had Billie Lee do it. She calls Ariana and says, I'm going to pet sit for you. And she said, I had to because it was so bad. Wait do you hear what she says about how dirty the house was? I'm fucked that he's protected by production. There's no way they would let them film in a house like this. When I tell you, she said they had to replace the carpets because the dogs pissed and shit so bad all the time, and it was left there all the time. And I'm not trying to dog anybody out, not even Ariana. I know some people can be messy, but she said eventually. My camera. All right, I'm back. Please stay. Don't leave. Please stay. Oh, all right, guys. So I'm going to get into a little bit of the podcast. I went and saw Billie Lee at her so apparently Billie Lee, she was in Philly last night. She's been in Philly for 2 days. I went to her comedy show. Of course, I don't take pictures. I didn't get to meet her. It was really busy. There was a lot of people there. But we did correspond a little bit through DMs. We were just talking about, she's like, thanks for, being there. Obviously we don't know each other. She just thanked me for having her back during my live the other day, which was awesome. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to get anybody's business. I do this a lot. But I genuinely care about these people. Like, I don't know them, but I care about them as a person, as humans, as somebody like is emotionally invested in that show. And I'm shocked at the fucking Vanderpump people. So I remember Sheena saying something about them not talking, right, since filming Wrapped. So, and I said, oh, is it worth it then to like not be friends with Ariana? You know what I mean? So, but apparently like Victoria is the one who's the isolating one, right? So she's the one who's isolating him. I'm like, why does my face look bad? All right, I'm not going to pay attention to my face. All right. So I have notes. Not all my notes are just to tell me where everything is. So we don't have to. This is the whole podcast. So T is there. T is the one Tom hooked up with from Billie Lee. So he did end up having a relationship with T. He was sleeping with her and everything until December. Okay. Now he met Victoria in November. Remember, she said she was saying March, Victoria. Like, what is this? I don't know. Maybe that's when they were like supposedly serious, like more serious. Oh yeah, let me put my hair back. That's so much better. That's when they were more serious, like in with this fucking chick saying. Victoria, the one who's on drugs. She also says that Tom records him and Victoria's fights, because he's afraid that she's always threatening to call the cops and say that he hit her. Like, oh my God. Like, wow. And like, there's like, she has a couple, she didn't want to show all Tom's text messages, but a lot, like the ones we saw about Victoria, like, oh, she just broke up with me. Oh, never mind, we're back together. Oh, like, it's just crazy. So we know what toxic relationships are, obviously. I am just really, like I said, shocked that he's accepting of this. I don't know. He's apparently, Tom, I feel like he's been like in a 2-year stupor. You know what I mean? I promise I'll stop playing with my hair. Like a 2-year stupor, I think that this girl was very upset that they had this intervention and they didn't include her. But she seems to be the one who's the problem. And I'm sorry, Tom is a big boy. Yes, I know he makes his own decisions. He does the drugs on his own. Kyle does drugs too, by the way. But remember, Kyle's like, oh, I'm not stupid enough to do drugs at my home. Whatever, man. So, all right, let's get started. It's a lot. I don't know where Schwartz is. Apparently, and also, guys, Jason Bader is the one who's always with the laptop. I don't know if you guys watch Tom's podcast, but I do. And his Patreon. Tom, and he's the one who's always got the laptop, right? I know. Lauren, I thought about that too. But listen, I think it's more of the cameras being up in the house. Okay, another thing is you got to go get cameras, Tom, because Billie Lee has now said your cameras have never worked, and everybody was well aware of that. So that whole thing with the red light thing was bullshit anyway. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. But like, if you have to record somebody's fight because they're ready to tell you, like they're ready to call the cops on you and say that you're like abusive. Like, get the fuck out of here, you maniac bitch. Get out. Like, how does he break up with Ariana? And also, the things that he would say to T, wait do you hear this shit, guys? I don't know what's up with him. I'm going to need him to come home and address all this. I do know that since this has happened, he still has been kind of a dick. Like, remember I said, why are you so angry with Ariana? And he just, we saw what happened. God damn, my hair's fucking pissing me off. We saw what happened. Oh, when I asked, he was just so mad at Ariana. And it's like, you're not mad at Ariana. I'm really shocked about the dirty house. I'm shocked that they couldn't even have anybody come in. And the reason that it's taking so long, I guess, for sale is because it's disgusting. And they had to, like, he was broke also after filming. Guys. So, I mean, and this is, a lot of this is, a lot of what Billie Lee says is all in this one huge, long text from his assistant, Josh. Now, again, we have another assistant. I don't even, honestly, Lauren, this is wild to me. He didn't, so it was basically, oh my God, look, I just put it all over me. The intervention was supposed to be Kyle's birthday, and he knew that, and he didn't show up. And we know how Tom is with birthdays. So, again, it's like, did you guys even listen to the Billie Lee thing? I'm going to stop playing with her. I promise. Did you guys listen to it? I did. I listened to it 3 times because I also do it because I don't want to miss anything. Because I like, you know how my ADHD is. And I also want to make sure that I'm not being a projector. Like, when it comes to, like, people on drugs and stuff, I try not to project or deflect or, like, act like, you know what I mean? Just because I'm on drugs or was on drugs that everybody else is. You know what I mean? Or am I, like, just, you know, am I just assuming everybody's on drugs because I was? I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyway, so self-diagnose those things. Yeah, Lauren, I know. I can imagine that Ariana was probably living her life. And yeah, Tom said, and remember also, she did pay him back? Okay. I didn't know if she did or not. Oh, I don't know. That's another thing. He was paying all the bills. I do understand he was paying all the bills. And it's like, it was a lot. I think it was $12,000 before with Ariana there and $20,000 after. So, and this girl has moved in with Tom. Remember how she said she was living with her dad? Her dad moved in with her. So his dad lived with her so she could take care of him. Okay, but now she lives with Tom, and that's somebody had I saw one of the messages was said, yeah, Tom, there's a white Mercedes outside all the time, and I guess that's her car. And you know when Billie Lee said her car got broken into, it wasn't randomly in like, it was at Tom's house because he doesn't have cameras, and he's like on a main road. So, all right, guys, I keep saying I was gonna do it. So I'm sorry, Billie Lee. Let me get my notes so I don't lose them. So the first thing that she talks about, it's like, it starts right away, but like, so we're going to start 2 minutes in. That's when she gets the printouts of all the proof, receipts, timelines. God damn, this fucking piece of hair is pissing me off. All right. Let's do this. Present, share. And then we're going to talk about the Amber thing. Oh my God. Back to you guys. Share the screen. Put me in a corner. Put baby in the corner. Baby, all right, baby's right there. Okay, I know, Mamir. I know. They're lazy. Apparently, him and Ariana are very lazy. But this is all top. Tom, okay. To me, when somebody goes downhill like this, the signs to me are somebody that's on drugs. Okay. Billie Lee acted as his wife too. Like, and she's like, I'm not attracted to Tom. Okay. Hey guys, let me say hi to everybody. Hey Terry, hey Lauren, everybody what's watching over here. We have over here on Instagram. I did post, but I didn't post a lot about this, but so all right, let's go. Oh, I gotta go back here.
Yay, paper. I love paper.
We have so many allegations, so we had to get things printed and be organized because obviously that live they did was a hot fucking mess.
I feel like we're in court right now.
I know.
We're literally like, let's go over the allegations. Yeah.
Like, but I can't get like that. By the way, I was on set filming my first movie. While this live was happening, I was chiming in, being like, that's a lie. That's a lie. And then when I saw how she was like slurring her words, I was like, and I saw just like the hot mess that it is. And then I was seeing all the comments where they're like, Team Billie, like, what is she on? What is going on? I was like, they're literally doing me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what everyone's DMing me. That's what everyone's messaging me. I can't believe they literally went on there and was like,
especially since we found she was on Ariana's side. She was Team Ariana for the first 6 months. We just didn't see that. And then something happened.
So let's start with the live if we can. We have T here. I brought my special guest, one of my besties in here because she has been with me throughout the entire time we filmed. Before that, I introduced her to Tom. And also I hike with her weekly. So she knows when I was going through this drama with them in real life, she was there to hear it.
Yes, I heard these things like day after Billy would call me. But even before Vanderpump, Billy and I had no clue she was on this show. We did not know. I was just girlfriends with her, you know.
We met in acting class.
Yeah.
I never talked about reality.
700 followers. We were chilling.
Yeah, she's young, guys. 23, I think.
And hiking, like seriously, from like bottom up, like truly.
That's what happened with us. I didn't fucking know Vanderpump. Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
I've unfortunately learned it through being good friends with her. But like,
Yeah, and I went from literally Tom's house to your house.
Yeah,
almost every day.
Those are stops.
And you know how I would literally show up at your house like a hot mess, crying because of the drama that I had to experience with them.
Yep. And you experienced all that and still showed up day after day to be a good friend. So
yep.
Literally.
Let that go.
Still showed up.
I don't think people understand.
I would joke, but like my mom, when she was young, like when we were young and they were struggling parents, like I grew up in a trailer at my very young age, and our trailer was cleaner than that house. And I was like, Tom, we gotta do something. I also just want to back up a little bit because I've seen so many comments. Like when Tom and Ariana, when the affair happened, I spent most of my time in Indiana. I was like madly in love with one of my old best friends back at home. So I wasn't really here involved in Vanderpump or the affair or anything like that.
Yes.
And then when I was here and the affair happened, I was at Tom Tom when the whole fight happened and Ariana found out. I went to Tom and Ariana's house. It felt like a death in the family. I cried. I was there for Ariana for like 6 weeks after the Tom Tom incident, after she found out. I was fully there for her. I was so pissed at Tom. Even though he was like a brother to me, like family, I was still really upset. And then one of our friends, Jason and Kimmy, who I love and adore, who I introduced them to Tom, was like, Tom is not doing well. Like he really needs a friend. Like we're really worried about him. And that's when I stepped in. And at the same time, I was still dog sitting and helping. So
is it okay if it's okay if I speed it up? You guys can hear it, right? Okay, like that. It'll just go by faster.
I texted Ariana and I said, hey girl, I'm going to your house. I'm also going to be dog sitting. I'm like, I just want to give you the heads up. And she said, okay, I love you, but I hate him. Because of the paparazzi seeing us out and me there the whole weekend, she unfollowed me, blocked me. That's when I lost all my friends, including her. So I wasn't like I just randomly picked a side and was like, I'm going to go with Tom. Like I was really there as much as I could for Ariana. And I understand she had to build and create a boundary, which was like anyone who is friends with Tom is not friends with me. Yeah. I get that. It still really hurt me. Obviously, if I was friends with her, I wouldn't talk about Tom. I wouldn't discuss that. I would just be there for her, but I get it. Like that's her journey.
Now, you remember how Ariana, she said I would discuss it with her like Sheena did. So I know she's referring to Sheena. Because remember how she said that Sheena was always talking to Ariana about Tom, but she still remained friends with Sheena, and that's what Billy's like. I still remain friends with. You know, I wouldn't talk if she did. I wouldn't talk about her. You know what I mean? I wouldn't talk about Tom. Like, but we know that's what that meant. But so we want to put that out.
However, apparently she is still friends with Kyle, who knew the whole time. I guess. So we're gonna go to the live.
Yes, here we go.
Yeah. The live, I want to just start off with Kyle. He goes on to tell me Billy's a good person. You know, he says these positive things about me, but then immediately follows with like these really negative things. I'm going to start with just negative things about Kyle because I don't think positive of him. I've always thought he was fake. His entire business is to put his jewelry on famous people.
Right.
His job is to be friends with all these famous people. And when he said this story, like when I first met Billy, she was like, oh, do you want to put your jewelry on me? Do you like trans people? First of all, I don't know if I was intoxicated or not. I don't fully remember the conversation, but I do know my intention was I'm going to be on this show. There's going to be press on me. If you want me to wear your stuff as a loan, not even as like a gift, I'm open to that, you know, like that. I think that was the initial conversation. It wasn't like, hey, I'm trans. You need to gift me all this jewelry. Like, what the fuck? Like, who would say that? Like, I definitely
the job of influencers is to be like, do you want me to wear your clothes on this TV show?
Yeah. First of all, my first 2 seasons, people threw stuff at me to wear on the show. So like, I literally was just like, oh, this is Tom's friend. Like, that was the start of that. And I realized also he wasn't as kind to me until he realized like, oh, she is on the show and she is doing something with her life. Because again, as a jeweler, and especially him, he has to attach himself to famous people and he has to play the middle ground, which is why he didn't like pick sides when it came to Tom and Ariana. Also, the trans card. Like, when did I ever say anything about being
you were
trans?
on the live and people were like, Billy said the trans card. I'm like, she's not even on the live.
I didn't say that like our friendship broke up because I was trans. I didn't like Victoria because I was trans. I used the trans card one time in 2018, I believe, when I was on the season. It was girls' night in. I was triggered by that. Yes, that one time I pulled the trans card, that one time I was triggered. I later found out it wasn't even Katie that created the list. It was production. That's reality TV for you. Yeah. And so I'm just like, where are you getting this trans card? And for you to be an LGBTQ person and sit there and say that I'm pulling the trans card, fuck you, Kyle.
It's unfair.
It's so unfair. It's so awful. And like, shame on you. Like, I'm sorry, but you lose all the cards in the LGBTQ community, because that right there was disgusting. Like, from the start.
I agree.
And then he's going to say, and I could sue her. Let's go into the allegation.
Yes.
Sue me.
We're back in court.
Yeah. Sue me. And I'm going to just start with allegedly.
Yeah,
this is the theme. Allegedly, I created this lie about Kyle
about drugs
and told people when I didn't. There's no proof that I said anything. And then I never would go on live. Even if I were like to think of some crazy shit like that, I would not go on live and talk about it in a public way. However, he did. Like, I'm confused how you can make up something
and then sue that person.
You
can make up a lie and then sue that person?
Yeah.
That is not how that works.
Exactly.
No, that is not how that works.
No.
Like,
it kind of is.
So let's just, and I know you know this, but let's just talk about how this lie came about.
Wait, listen.
There was a situation where Victoria found a text message she saw a text message from Kyle, and Kyle was like, oh, is she having one of her tantrums or a manic episode again? It was something I don't know word for word. So we were downstairs in the kitchen. This is what she was talking about in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And by the way, she knew there was no cameras working because I begged for cameras to be working.
We all knew. I like literally house sit there all the time. Strangers would come up to the door because there's no gate code. And I said, you guys, you know me, stranger danger. I watch one true crime show and I think someone's murdering me. I was like, please get the cameras working. All you need is a hard drive. Tom never did it. I kept begging. When Victoria came into the picture, I even told her, I said, can you convince him to do it? My car got broken into. Still no cameras. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So she bought these 2 cameras that are like Nest cameras, like one for the front door, one for the back door.
Victoria.
They literally set in the box on the counter, on the bar, or on the table in the kitchen the entire time, probably while we were having this exact conversation.
Also, the red light blinking, like, girl, there is no red light. There has never been a red light. Like, I even asked, oh, do these work? He's like, I don't know the passcode for something. I don't know the login. Like, there has never been a time where these cameras worked.
Okay, so here's the thing about the cameras. And this is obviously going to force him to get the hard drive immediately because I want them to be safe. I'm not doing this to like ever put any harm or physical harm on anyone. I want this house to be protected. And that's how I've always felt. Yes. However, the cameras do work, as in they do pick up the image. It goes to the master TV, but there are no hard drive to record anything. Which is like, if you get a Nest camera, that goes to the internet and then it goes to your phone and you can save those videos. So if she really wanted to catch me in a lie, wouldn't you think she would open those cameras and put them somewhere? Like, that blew me away right there. And so when she found the text, she said, Billy, I need to talk to you about something. This was in the kitchen. She's like, I think Kyle's fake. And I think he's in love with Tom. And I said, well, funny you should say that, because T told me the exact same thing. She thought Kyle was fake and that he was in love with Tom. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, have they ever messed around? And I said, no. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, one time when they first met, they got fucked up on drugs like we normally do. Maybe it was at a festival. I don't know. And he Tom. That's all I said. He got fucked up on drugs and he hit on Tom. And
everyone flirts when they're on drugs at a festival. That cancels out.
Exactly.
Literally.
Like, and Tom's clearly not offended by it because he hangs out with him. He's best friends with him.
He loves it.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Tom loves when people hit on him.
It's also funny to hear someone be like, made these allegations and saying that they're fake. That's what they're saying about you, that you're in love with him and you're the fake one. It's like, it's flipping. It's the exact same.
When I watched this, I was like, they literally took everything and flipped it, which is crazy. But also, I've heard that come out of Tom's mouth as well. Like, literally, I would not lie about this. Tom, after they came back from Vegas, Kyle and him went to Vegas. I'm not sure if this was for BravoCon or what, but he was like, yeah, when he takes Ambien at night, he doesn't remember, and he gets a little zesty, gets a little flirty, which is fine. Like, yes, when you're on Ambien, you don't remember. If you don't hit the pillow quickly, you do not know what is going on.
Never let Kyle loose on Ambien in Vegas.
Yeah, it's just like you're fighting the drug. That's why. Yeah. So like I've heard him say that too. It wasn't like it creeped me out. It wasn't like that. It was just like, yeah, I think it's funny. Like
everybody talks about
and like Kyle has like a million pretty boys that look somewhat straight or act straight around him. Like that's very obvious to me. I mean, if you literally could just hang out with him one time and you would get that. But yes, he told you this.
Right. So Tom is a bad friend. He's saying these things behind Kyle's back. Kyle has no clue. would not lie about this. Kyle just has no clue that Tom is shady.
Yeah.
Like Kyle's being a great friend right now, backing him up with his girlfriend, who obviously could not have done the live alone because she can't speak. But so Kyle's being there, and I just feel bad for Kyle because he's being such a good friend to Tom. Does not know Tom is saying these things to his friends behind his back.
And you were best friends with Tom too until he started saying shit behind your back to Victoria. It's like,
yes,
that's just what he does. Maybe
even if you know that he does bad things in the public eye, the way that he treats these people in their personal relationships, like you have a reason to trust him and be there for him, or else you wouldn't be. Like,
and I think he definitely did some things where he pinned us against each other, Victoria and I, because I literally would hear him screaming on the phone and be like, "You're isolating me from my friends, like Billy. Everyone's telling me you're isolating me." And then they said that I was isolating him. I'm like,
that's her putting that in his ear, and he's repeating it though, because that doesn't even seem like language he would use, dude. You know, that's like.
Isolation usually comes from a toxic partner. There's not really friends. Like majority of the time, it's from a partner you know, who wants all of his attention. From a friend, you've had him. When this whole situation came down, it was only you and him and Kyle. Like,
and when you came in the picture, what was my feelings?
You were so supportive. You were literally like, yeah, just know he's probably going to get his dick wet somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's a great person.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was like, yes, he's generous. He has a nice heart. Not the brightest person. I've said this before. We all know this. But, you know, you were very supportive. It was never, I was always like, Billy, come over because we just woke up. Like, it was never like, I would always be like, come over, please.
Thank you. So I was so relieved when Tom would have a girlfriend or like even T, I was like, I'm not on duty.
Yeah.
Because Tom
we would always say that. We'd always be like, I'm like, you're on duty tonight, Billy, because I need to sleep.
We took shifts.
Earlier than 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning. I need to sleep. Billy, it's you.
Tom is a very codependent person. He's a very needy person. He would literally like ask me to come over all the time. It was him texting me being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you know, I would be like, what are you doing? I'm going to stop by. Most of the time he was sleeping. I would stop by during the day and like do laundry or whatever, like pick up the house or something. Like I was very housewife in a way, but like strictly no, I was not fucking him. So
but no one's taking care of the house, and there's an animal there. It's like, of course, it's a big nice house,
Listen,
and like, you know.
Well, also I sublet my girlfriend Christine's apartment that was just down the street the entire time because I knew that he was having me there every day. I didn't want to drive a lot. A lot of times I would just end up staying over there, so I made sure that I had all my stuff somewhere close by. But
she was taking care of Ariana's cats and the dog.
But I was so relieved when he did have a friend or a girlfriend because I wasn't with him 24/7 and I have my own life. I have guys that I'm hanging out with, like things that I'm doing on my own. And then let's get into, and even like, I will say this, like when Victoria was like, oh, your friend Billy is here a lot. And he's like, yeah, I love having her around. And it's like,
you took care of things for him and you supported him when no one else did. Like, of course.
Literally no one else.
No one else in the world supported him. He was the number one, what's the New York Times article called?
Number one hated.
The number one most hated in America. And Billy Lee was by his side during that. You had no reason to be unless you were an actually good friend.
Oh, I went through.
If you want to fuck, like, no, you're being a fucking good person and a good friend.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be.
And there was times where he like would speak upon his family and be like, hey, I need you to do this for me and you do that. And I showed up in a way like I was literally his family.
True. So the fact that this is happening, honestly, shows a lot about his character. Even though, he might be a nice person, I don't believe that anymore because this is honestly crazy that he would do this to Billy. Like I've seen it. Everyone sees how much Billy did. And now I take back everything that I've said about, oh, he has a kind heart. He's a nice person. Nice people don't do this. They remember who helped them when they were down. Nice people don't do this. Like I'm beyond down. I'm over like, the negative.
Hear that, guys? This is what people around Tom are thinking because of what he's done to Billy Lee. Just
live below rock bottom.
Ridiculous.
Still there.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I swear to you, my heart's broken right now because
and friend breakups are.
She was doing ugly cry last night. She's legitimately very fucking upset.
So difficult, especially you guys were. I can't even.
It's also crazy. Like you made it through. It's crazy the falling out is happening now because like you made it through the hardest time. Like you were there in the hardest time of his entire life. Like America hated him. All of America hated him. He was like the most hated man in pop culture. And Billy, through that, knowing the repercussions of what it came with, was still his friend and by his side. So it's crazy that when she was the support system.
That's the kid, by the way. Billy and the kid.
In that period of time, that now this happened. It's like, do you not remember the last 6 months, you fucking idiot, of what she just did for you?
I hope he rethinks all the things truly after like hearing this and seeing the podcast. I hope he rethinks it and is like, shit, I fucked up because this is not right. This is not
You won't see it because we're all blocked.
I'm not blocked.
I'm blocked.
You're not.
Until after this.
Being blocked is the funniest part of the entire thing. Like, what did I do, dude?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things too for me is like I try not to have regret, but like losing Ariana and losing friends, like
your family.
Yeah, that really hurts.
They were like family, Ariana and her.
Okay, you have advisors.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that. I want to move into the intervention.
And
this is where I have my first receipt.
Oh, someone who has
that's our new
receipts?
segment.
Someone who
have
has a
proof?
receipt. Yeah.
This is like a new segment.
Whoa.
Receipts.
Receipts.
Yes, receipts.
Welcome to receipts.
It really blew my mind how they like had this whole lead up to a receipt. That
Should we tell them? Should we tell them? Okay, yeah, we weren't gonna say this, but and the cameras weren't on. No,
Yeah,
there's no proof. No, should we tell them? No, there's no proof.
Okay, T just summed up the entire hour and a half live with literally that sentence. Wait, I wrote this down and I sent it to Billy. What was it? Oh, okay. Kyle Chan and Victoria were like, we were gonna keep quiet. We didn't want to say anything. Bitch, you're the one that made the first comment online that made Billy speak up in the first place. Billy, as someone who is there for her every day,
Right.
she was fucking quiet for the last 6 to 8 weeks about it because she was like, I don't even want to give the satisfaction of talking about it, and I don't want to hurt anyone who's already struggling, obviously, like they're unwell mentally. And literally they're like, we were gonna keep quiet. You're the one that made the first comment online that brought it to light. So like shut up about keeping quiet, and like you're the one that made the fake receipt in the first place.
Yeah, these are months and months of stories. Like I heard these live time. This isn't like Billy woke up one day and was like, I've got 30 stories to tell. Like no, this is like months long. Yes, this is months of it. I think that's so funny.
I do need this. I'm so emotional, guys.
Billy's like going like this. I'm like, she actually needs this. The one time the stress toy's been useful on the entire podcast.
Good, because we have receipts. So let's go.
Wait, can you throw me one?
Yeah.
Stress toy?
Yes, I'm a bad thrower.
Oh, you did great.
A plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna have an ugly cry after this because I have it's like boiling right here.
Well, Kyle called you pretty about 4.
What the heck? So something's going on with Jelly Roll? What happened with Jelly Roll? Is he okay? Oh my God, you guys, I'm confused. I don't know what happened to Jelly Roll, but I'm going to let you guys finish this and then we'll talk about it.
1,000 times after he said you were like evil, so don't worry, you look really cry. He's like, she's evil, but she's fucking gorgeous. I'm like, okay, that's a brand.
Wow.
That's a brand.
That's how the intervention started.
Money. A lot of people were.
Okay.
I will tell them like, hey, you need to have gratitude because and Jason works really hard. Like a lot of people around Tom work really hard for him. And sometimes I don't think he like, I will tell him like, hey, you need to have gratitude because people are kicking their ass around you, you know? And like when Tom didn't have money, a lot of people were hitting up Jason and hitting up. And then Jason and I talked about this. Like people were like, yo, the band owes me this. Tom owes me this. Tom owes me that. Like money was burning. It was a scary time financially for Tom because, you know, all of.
So why didn't he call Sheena? Why didn't he call Sheena? Why didn't Sheena fucking help him out? This is where I was like, oh yeah, he was broke. Where the fuck is Sheena at now? Oh, remember how good of a friend Tom was to you? Where's Sheena? You want to give him some money, Sheena?
Of these, he didn't have so many endorsements. They just all stopped because of the scandal. And so eventually his account ran dry. And so we were really worried, and he finally started getting a couple meetings, but he wasn't showing up to those meetings. And for someone like Jason, who works so hard to get him meetings and to really like help him make money, which also pays the bills and pays people that work for him around him. So that was one concern. And I do also have a screenshot of me. I'm at my own meeting at Soho House in West Hollywood, and I'm literally texting Victoria and him like, hey, you have a meeting in 10 minutes. Like someone needs to wake him up. We can't get a hold of him.
This was on your birthday.
This is on my birthday.
I was at breakfast with you.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was you. Yes.
There. Girl, I was there and you were calling to wake him up. I was just sitting there and I was like, girl, on your birthday brunch, they're like bringing us like free pancakes. And she's like, yeah, hold on.
Yeah. But like I would be in the middle of my own work stuff too. And it would literally be like,
you have a life.
Everybody would be like, we can't find the key to the house. Billy, come here. We can't, like everything went through me for some fucking reason. Yeah. So I was constantly bombarded. And that's why like
this is before and after filming of the season we just watched.
Worked really hard hiring him an assistant and training the assistant.
She's the one who hired Ann, guys.
For 2 weeks because it relieves, just like when he has a girlfriend, when he has an assistant, I have a break.
They take the shift.
Yes. Right. So, and by the way, I'm like the one that, you know, is not on the payroll, just letting you know. Yeah, right. So this intervention, we're going to go with that. Then Josh, and I don't want to bring him into this either because Josh is like one of the sweetest souls in the world. Like he's just such an amazing person. It's Tom's cousin and he is off and on his assistant sometimes. I never like to mix family being your assistant. Yeah. I disagree with that. And also I don't like how Tom doesn't appreciate Josh. And I noticed that like you're easily to like dismiss him or just like not be the best boss because it's less professional. So I just didn't like that. But Josh would be like, Billy, I constantly have to cancel meetings for him. It's all the time. And so I said, okay, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to be a bit dramatic because that's how Tom, he's from reality TV. How many years has he done? Right. We got to get together and like really sit down with him and because it's been bad. So
Tom's in bad way.
This is my first receipt.
Now
Josh started a group chat with Jason, Kyle, Josh, and I. So you will see that it wasn't just me going around telling everyone and creating this whole thing. Josh literally sent out the first text, and let me read what the first text is really fast. So this is a group chat that he started. It says, "Hey guys, it's Josh. We've all been discussing how best to help Tom get on the right path. So what is everyone's availability tomorrow around lunchtime so all 4 of us can meet with Tom to discuss this situation?" So we'll obviously post these screenshots. It just is like going back and forth with.
Where's Schwartz? Where's Sheena? Where's fucking Lala, his bestie? Where are they all at? Why aren't they calling them?
Kyle and us. The thing is with Kyle is like, Kyle is one of Tom's best friends, but Kyle's never at the house. Like maybe once a month. I was at that house every single day. Like Kyle's the friend you go out in West Hollywood with and have drinks with, or go to Vegas with, or go do drugs with. Like Kyle's that kind of friend. And he's one of Tom's best friends. But I'm the best friend that sees like when Tom first wakes up.
Kyle is in the group chat agreeing with everybody.
When Tom's going to bed, what's really going on at this house? Like
it's the after hours. Yeah. After hours.
And
so who has fucking receipts? Not them.
So I wanted to include Kyle in this, even though he wasn't around to witness as much as that was going on with Tom in the house and canceling meetings and stuff like that. But I knew he was important to Tom, and I knew that whatever we could do to help Tom. So I did call him and I said, "Hey, what's your experience with Tom lately?" And he's like, "Honestly, I don't talk to Tom that much since he started dating Victoria. He doesn't answer my calls." And I said, "Well, this is what's been going on." So that's how I included him. He knew from the start. There was no me scheming something in him. Like he knew he was worried. He literally, you will see on these screenshots, he was all about being part of this. And then didn't he call you?
Yeah. So this was like, intervention was supposed to be the 19th or something like that, right? He called me on the 25th and he told me, Tom is in a very dark place. We still miss you being around. You know, he's like, his relationship is a wreck. He's in a very bad place. We're worried about him. But I just want to reach out and tell you that, like, we still love you. We still care about you. You can still come to events that we plan.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like,
he did really like
so
you.
Sweet.
You guys connected like
yeah,
quickly.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like I thought.
I also think this is why they're on pause, because he's a mess. I swear to you guys, I think this is why he's on pause.
He was very sweet. And he was there for Tom. But the fact that he called me, and I immediately called my mom, I was like, Kyle just called me that he's worried about Tom. Like my mom was like, no shit. Like,
yeah. And you'll see on the screenshots, it was Kyle's birthday. That's like when we try to do it. And I was like, this is brilliant because Tom will show up. Tom's really big for birthdays. I'm like, Tom will show up for Kyle.
That's how we capture him, a children's birthday cake.
No, party hats. That's one thing about.
Do you realize that the kid keeps saying about Tom and little kids? This is the 4th time she's made reference to him liking little boys. It's kind of freaking me out.
About Tom, I will say positive. He's like big on birthdays and he like loves buying gifts for people on birthdays. But I was like, this is a good way for him to show up because it was hard for us to get him out of the house and get him away from Victoria so we can have this conversation with him.
Right.
And he didn't show up.
He didn't show up.
He literally was like, I'm sick. And that's when
But he was always sick.
Always sick.
Tom, everything was, I'm sick. Blah, blah, blah.
Literally.
Let me go back. Hold on. I want to see. I'm going to read them.
Every single day he was sick. And the crazy thing.
Always sick.
Told me on the 20th.
But I was like, this is a good way for him to show up because it was hard for us to get him out of the house and get him away from Victoria so we can have this conversation. Started hanging out with.
Oh, fuck.
And he didn't show up. He literally was like, I'm sick. And
I'm on my way to see Kyle. Tom, I'm not feeling well. Tom, I'm not feeling well. He seemed to be just doing it. See, like he literally just, oh, wow. EK Sandoval. It was.
That's when
He was always sick.
Always sick.
Tom, everything was, I'm sick. Blah, blah, blah.
Literally every single day he was sick. And the crazy thing is, before he started hanging out with Victoria and drinking, he was so healthy. Remember, like, you don't drink either.
No,
he's allergic to Victoria.
No, yes, he's allergic.
Where's his friend? Where's the ones that we just literally watched him and was unalive himself because he wasn't friends with them anywhere? Where's all these people? Is it like, I believe they don't fucking hang out in real life anymore.
No, he was never sick. He would work out for 2 to 3, call me on FaceTime on the treadmill for like hours. I'm like, when are you getting off of the treadmill? Because this is excessive. We'd go out. Yeah, he was my sober buddy.
Yeah.
We would never drink. We would stay up and chill and eat pizza and never sick.
He was so happy. And like, just like because I remember Tom before the affair, like he always had anxiety. He always had like depression because he drank a lot. And I'm not saying he's an alcoholic, but like he would like, he likes his beer. He likes taking shots at night, whatever. I'm not saying he's
Guys, I had no idea Tom suffered all that.
An alcoholic. I will say when he did start drinking again with Victoria, it got dark. Like, I mean, it was like anxiety, depression, and then he was physically sick all the time.
See?
Yeah, we would go out to we go to Magic Castle. We go to karaoke like religiously on Sunday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It was karaoke night. Like we
did karaoke 3 times a week with Tom Sandoval.
Yes, that was our
ridiculous
thing
that's been said on this entire podcast.
No, that was our thing. And we'd go home. I'd play the
This is after filming Tom very downhill.
Piano would we sing even more like, and to
Yeah.
sing you have to be healthy.
After he got a good edit, guys.
You have to have like, you know, your body has to be together.
Also,
No.
he loves music. Like singing is probably something that made him happy.
Exactly.
I was so proud of him. I will say that was really worth it for me. Like a lot of the heartache and like the craziness that I went through losing my friends and family and like also being in the public eye. I got a lot of transphobic hate during that time just because people were like, how dare you like be Tom's friend?
I was crying when she was talking about this. She was crying.
I will say seeing him like going from like being sober and really starting to enjoy life and being in a better place and not being with Raquel or Rachel, like literally just being in a good place, like that did make me feel good. Like I was like, okay, this is working. Like everything that we're doing to support him is working, even though it's no one's responsibility but his own. Right. And I do wanted to say, like with the intervention, like if I really thought allegedly that Kyle drugged him and sexually assaulted him, I wouldn't include him in the intervention. Like I wouldn't. It blows my mind. I still can't get over how they could make something up like that. Like that's what really hurt me with Kyle.
That is so fucking horrible. I said this during that live. That is a fucking slanderous fucking thing to say. That she said when she didn't say.
Yeah, like you can say the trans card, whatever you want to say, but like to make up some shit like that.
I've never heard that come out of your mouth too, and I would speak on it. Like,
yes,
I would be the first one. I'm not here because I'm Billy's friend. I'm not here because I would never lie for Billy, Kyle, no offense, Tom, anyone. And I've never heard that come out of your mouth ever. And I'd be the first person you'd be like, listen, I got the tea. I've never heard that.
Weekly hike gossip. That would have been the first thing you would have.
Right, she would have called me immediately.
Yeah, and I do think like whenever Victoria was like, yeah, so Tom and Kyle were on speaker. And I remember this. My last text to her was like, because I remember when I walked in a house, I was like, it literally as if like I killed someone's dog. And I remember
you telling me that. Yeah. Like the vibe is so fucking weird. I literally remember you saying that exact sentence.
And I was like slowly getting my stuff out of there because I'm like, there is some shit going on. But of course, it was after the failed intervention and she found out about it. So she was like, fuck you. How dare you do an intervention without me? Like that really drew the line for her. And like
that's when she started making up this stuff and getting them against her.
She wouldn't even look me in the eye. She wouldn't talk to me. She's blaming that on the things that I supposedly said about Kyle.
Right.
It's not. It was her being upset about the not being included in the intervention. And when she was like, we caught you on speakerphone. I remember I was driving to this exact studio on a Monday. I was on the 10 freeway and literally she calls me. She's like, hey, I'm just still really upset with what you said about Kyle assaulting Tom. And I was like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I said that they did drugs together and he hit on him. Like you must have got that twisted.
Twisting the words. Yeah.
I literally called her out. So I know if I was really the one that said something like that, wouldn't they record it? If you have two people next to you on a speakerphone.
Right, and she's like, watch, I'm going to call Billy and we're going to catch her.
Why would you not?
The first thing you do is record.
Thank you.
Come on. I even record fights with my grandma because
you learned that in middle school. That's literally middle school 101.
Yes.
You record it if you're trying to trap someone.
If you're trying to trap someone.
Yes. Yeah. So then that means that Kyle, I guess, lied about it because if he heard that and he was actually on it.
I did. I
someone
literally
who doesn't lie. That's a pretty big lie.
Yeah, I debunked her lie.
Okay,
and
go on.
Just saying.
And if we're going to talk about recording, Victoria, Tom secretly records Victoria and his fights because he's afraid because she gets manic. He told me one time, he's like, okay, this happened on my birthday, by the way. Tom goes to dinner with us. Remember for my birthday?
Crossroads.
And I was like, where's Victoria? And he's like, I
remember she didn't come to dinner.
Yes. I swear every time, and it was my birthday. It's like, girl, just like, why do you have to argue and fight on my birthday?
Yeah, because he was giving you attention, Billy. The day was about you and you were getting the attention. He was away from her.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, he leaves and goes to meet her. Apparently she was really fucked up. She was manic. He said that she was so evil to him and abusive. And this was him on the treadmill the next day telling me this. I said,
it's always on the treadmill.
I said, Tom, you just survived a scandal. Like this ship is already sinking. Like, would you really want someone to take it down? Like you should not be dating someone who is physically fighting with you. All it takes is a 911 call and her being manic and making up some shit. And it's over, babe. It's over.
Right.
Like,
it already was basically over.
Literally.
This was the final string.
And because like I can sense when someone's all about fame and like they're attaching themselves to someone like fame like her. I'm like, it would benefit her so much if she dialed 911 and was like, Tom Sandoval hit me. Like, boom. She's immediately in the public.
Again.
It would, And also, Tom said this is like, I gotta be careful because look at Ariana's career. Like, any other girl can come in here and do the same thing. I'm like, you mean any other girl can come here and be a victim? Ariana was a victim, which is why she deserves everything that she's getting. But this is what happened. And he was like, I gotta start recording our fights to make sure.
He fucking said that,
sure, if this goes down, I can defend myself.
That Ariana, look what happened with Ariana, acting like Ariana did something to him and her career flourished. And so he's actually trying to say that like Ariana was a victim.
Because he knows middle school 101. You
Yeah,
record
middle school
fights.
101.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
Tom's stand up past 6th grade, dude. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we know. Good for
Yes,
him, man.
go Tom. And the crazy thing too is that if you were
Tom quit school in 6th grade, by the way. That's what they just said.
such an isolator, why did Tom and I never fight? We fought one time because he went to go and pick another bitch up instead of drive me home at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
When I lived like 2 miles away. I was like,
Mhm.
can you drive me home? So I walked. I said, fuck you. And I walked home and he went to go pick up another girl and then proceeded to drive her home in the morning.
Yeah.
That was a strong for me. But like,
Of girls.
And here's the thing is like I'll also show these. I'll show these screenshots, but like
Received
What's this?
by Billy and the Kid.
Victoria, she would literally be like, "Hey, come over," or "Hey, I got you ice cream," or like she would love bomb me, and Tom would ask me to come over. Like I was always, you would see the text message. I'm like, "Sorry, I passed out. Like I don't want to go and hang out like all the
Right.
time. I am glad he has a girlfriend. I'm glad he's doing his own thing. Like and up until like it got really toxic, I was actually happy for him. I was like, "Do your thing, enjoy
Right.
what
You
you're
also
doing."
liked her in the beginning. Like,
I
of
did.
course
Yeah,
you were
she really
You were
did.
happy in the beginning because you were like, she's cool. She sent me flowers. She's a nice, pretty girl,
Yeah.
and it gives you
Yeah.
time off.
And then
Yeah,
let's go into
You're genuinely happy when he's with someone. Like you were genuinely happy when he was with T. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're
and
genuinely happy.
Billy would tell me this too. And in my head, I was just like, oh, like cool, awesome. But Billy would still proceed to tell me like, it's okay. He's in a good place. And
He dicked her over, by the way.
I'm like, okay, you know what? Awesome. Good for him. Like, you know,
yeah.
but don't you think if Billy was an isolator, I would have fought with Tom the most because I was Billy's actual friend? Like, it makes no
I don't
sense.
think
Yeah, and I
Isolator. Why do you want to spend more alone time with him, dude? You got your fair share.
Yeah,
No
you
one else
really
wanted to hang
did.
out
You
with him
really
besides
did.
you. She
All
got
of America
overload
hated him.
Like she got overload
The kid fucking hates Tom.
of solo time. You don't want any more of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
and I was codependent with
Oh my
him
god,
too.
those are large paragraphs, Billy.
I know. So this
Just
girl,
so everyone knows what Billy's scrolling through, large paragraphs. That's
I can't
wild.
mention her name, and I'll show these screenshots as well. But
Code name.
I want to, let's say Abby.
Abby.
Code name is Abby.
Abby.
I don't want, but she is, I guess, who introduced Victoria to Tom.
This is Victoria's friend that was first hooking up with Tom.
Fucking Abby.
And she literally was like, I guess she's like, hold on, let me see. I don't even know where to start, but basically, long story short, I was hooking up with Tom for like a month and we got really close, actually, or I thought, laugh out loud. I knew too much about him to want to date him, but I thought he was going to be one of my good friends because we got along really well. Then he introduced me to Victoria at his place when he had people over one night. She and I got along really well, and she started my friendship love bombing me. And this is what I want to say: is Victoria's pattern is to love bomb,
Should you do?
buy me gifts, buy me flowers,
With Tom.
and like what blew me away was like, I was like, wow, this girl's FaceTime me all the time. Like she really like wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then the second I'm alone with Tom, she calls him over and over and over. And she said on the live, she goes, I don't think that Tom would ever want to hook up with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she goes,
Oh,
it was a misunderstanding. He said that something about her sleeping in the bed and then he got another call. Bitch, he didn't get another call. You were calling 15 times in a row, and then he went upstairs and got in a fight. I know.
She was the other call.
On her other phone.
Yeah, she was the other call.
It was at night. And like he literally went upstairs and got into a fight with her. A half hour later, I'm already done with my food. The movie's basically over. And he's like, yeah, she thinks we're gonna be sleeping together tonight. And I'm like, wow, that made me feel so uncomfortable. I immediately left because the movie was basically almost over. I'm like, I don't want to feel like someone's love bombing me, but then accusing me of something.
Right.
It was just the weirdest fucking feeling.
Once the food and the movie's over, there's no purpose of the hang. You know,
Right. Bye.
that's the reason for the literally bye. That's
And
the
I ate
purpose of-
alone and watched the movie
That's
alone.
Like minutes after we had sex,
This is
one day
this is what this girl
should
says.
have seen the way Tom is because I remember some really insulting things. Like minutes after we had sex, one day he said to me, my next girlfriend has to be more famous than me. I can't have
This is a girl that would prefer Victoria. This is what this girl's saying to Billy Lee the other day.
anybody writing my cocktails as I'm still sitting
Acting like Ariana was running his cocktails.
there naked, not famous. That's what like, could you imagine? Like, you just get done having sex with a guy.
We'll read this again.
On her other phone.
Yeah, she was
Pick up.
the other call.
It was at night. And like, he literally went upstairs and got into a fight with her. A half hour later, I'm already done with my food. The movie's basically over. And he's like, yeah, she thinks we're going to be sleeping together tonight. And I'm like, wow, that made me feel so uncomfortable. I immediately left because the movie was basically almost over. I'm like, I don't want to feel like someone's love bombing me, but then accusing me of something.
Right.
It was just the weirdest fucking feeling.
This
Once
girl.
the food and the movie's over, there's no purpose of the hang. You know,
Right. Bye.
that's the reason for the literally bye. That's
And
the
I ate
purpose of-
alone and watched the movie
That's
alone.
the purpose
so
of the
thank
hang.
you
Like,
for
Billy
that.
doesn't- once the food is gone and the movie's done, it's like she doesn't fucking care.
She's like going to bed.
Yeah, Billy doesn't give a shit. Once
Bye.
those are the important activities. When they're done, they're fucking done, dude.
She said this about Tom, which I actually was like, girl, I know you're telling the truth because Tom told me this. She said, Before I met Victoria, though, I should have seen the way Tom is because I remember some really insulting things. Like minutes after we had sex, one day he said to me, my next girlfriend has to be more famous than me. I can't have anybody writing my cocktails as I'm still sitting there naked, not famous. That's what like, could you imagine? Like, you just get in having sex with a guy, you're clearly not famous, and he's like, yeah, my next girlfriend has to be more famous.
I mean, he was saying, I want someone with clout. I want a model.
He was all about a model. That's why
he's specific about that.
And look at Victoria. She's a fucking washed up model.
Because him and V
with no fucking. I can't find this girl is a nobody, guys. She only fucking walked out of one place with Leonardo DiCaprio. She's nobody.
Him and T got along really well, and I was like, like they were just having a good time, and I was like, I love T for you, like, I wanted y'all to work out, and he's like, I really want a model. I'm like, first of all, T's dropped like gorgeous. What do you mean? He's like taller, like a tall model.
I know. If I look long, but I'm like 5'2".
You're so your pocket.
I'm literally tiny, but like you're gonna risk all that for something superficial.
I was to him, like
that's why this is the craziest thing.
I'm empowered and can say what I want about it.
And the entire time, like the scandal happened, like I was bombarded by paparazzi. I never said anything. I like never went to the press. I never, like, I literally just keep my mouth shut. And I remember when production started back up, I said, guys, I don't talk to the press.
I'm gonna get a 58. I think it's a
picture.
Never met this girl. Maybe if it's like a heavy. Maybe if it's like a heavy emotional thing, she like needs someone there with her. Maybe that's just how she is, though.
Yeah.
That's like she can't like. It seems from what I've seen on the outside that like.
Right.
It's too much for her to do these things alone.
Yeah.
Like if it's a fight, she needs someone else to be on her side or blah, blah, blah. The live, she needed someone with her. Right. She couldn't handle it on her own.
She would literally call me and like during the day, slurring her words, being like, I got to talk to you about Tom. I'm done. Like she would always say she was done. She'd always have some crazy excuse, even like he's not A-list enough. Like, I mean, crazy shit she would tell me. And then the next day it was as if she didn't remember. Like, I don't know if that's something if you're on pills or if you're manic, maybe it's a sleeping pill during the day. I don't know, but she would say all this stuff and do all this stuff and then not remember.
Right.
So obviously they fall on my birthday. Right. So that night,
I swear she probably doesn't remember the live, guys.
It was the 23rd at 1:13 in the morning. So it was still that night, but in the morning, 1:13 in the morning, she says, babe, are you awake? Please tell Tom to stop blowing up my close friend's phone. Not okay. I'm done. This is too much. Sending literal essays to her. It's inappropriate. We are trying to sleep. I'm like, why? And so at 7:07 in the morning, oh no, I was passed out. I'm sorry. I hope you got sleep, babe. And he's calmed down. Love you. And then at 11 o'clock, is he home now? I may go pick up my car. And that's one thing, as I realized too, is every time they got in a fight, she would reach out to me as if like, are you with him? For years.
That's part he didn't give her a key though, because I had a key for a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
And we hid the key together and we're like, Tom, it's over here. Like,
yes, yep.
So at least it's a little coherent.
Well, she doesn't. She probably doesn't, obviously, but like, ooh.
Yikes.
And then I'll just say this too, and I have the screenshot when it comes to like her including me in their fights on my birthday. Like,
happy birthday.
So, all right, that's pretty much it, guys. So guys, my whole thing is, it looks like he's in trouble to me. Like, where is like Tom Schwartz? And guys, Erin's here smiling with Erin, her channel. Please subscribe to her channel. You guys are watching me wherever you guys are. There's only 22 people here. I saw all of my likes because I've been making these thumbnails and scheduling these a lot earlier so I get more like people to see it. So yeah, so I appreciate all the replays and everything, guys. Please also go to Erin's channel and hit the subscribe button. And also Q, where are you at? Q, did you put your channel up here? Q, did you get to 50 yet? Because if not, we got to get you to 50 today. We need Q to get to 50 subscribers. Where are you at? Q, can you put your channel up, please? Also, hey Shay, I just went over a little bit Billie Lee's live. Did you hear all that? Dude, how are the Vanderpump people are not included in that at all? We're not included in his intervention. So to me, all the shit we're seeing, I guess they're not really that close outside of this, out of the show anymore. Know what I mean? Hey Kath, who's Marvel? Marvel and DC. Why? Who's that? What's on that? Oh my god, what are you guys talking about? All right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm reading my live chat. I'm talking about a guinea pig in a car accident, or I may have been the guinea pig after. Huh? Oh my god! I don't, Kathy. You gotta tell me what. You gotta send me a message. Send me a DM and explain what the hell this is all about. I don't know about what happened. I must have done something. But anyway, yeah, guys, please go subscribe to Q's channel, please. We are getting you 250 subscribers. We're gonna get you 200. So we'll get you way past what you're supposed to. Well, anyway, We're gonna get you to there. But yeah, Tom's in trouble. That's my opinion only, guys. So anybody listening, I am not forming any fact-based opinions. Well, fact-based, I don't know. To me, when you have people like your assistant and your cousin reaching out and saying that you're not making meetings and Jason's upset and you're not paying people, and then we see your girlfriend high as hell on a fucking live trying to basically go on there and say that you're not on drugs and you're not in trouble. Yeah, I believe it's benzos. Okay. Oh, okay. And then something happened. I got it. I get it. Okay. Well, listen, me and benzos, I'm a different person, and I don't take them for that reason. I was addicted to them, not addicted physically, but I would take them for anxiety, but I would turn into a different person. I don't remember anything, and I do things that are like extremely dangerous. And I don't know why I still, a couple years ago, it was 2018 was the last time I took one. And no, I'm sorry, it was BravoCon, on the way to BravoCon. I took a little bit of one, and the fact that I barely remember, I mean, it didn't fuck me that bad, but I did freak out and left Caroline's and left all my friends and walked to New York City and got remember, guys, I got a concussion, and you guys couldn't even understand me. I was talking to a lot of, we were on a group chat, Terry was there, and we were talking, and I couldn't really, they talked to me until somebody came and got me and picked me up. So I can't take them. I do things that are like not safe, you know. For Christ's sakes, I got in a car with what's her face, after not talking to her since 2016, just so we could use each other to get to the show and hang out with those people, you know, because the whole reason we weren't is because we hated each other. But anyway, and the pill thing and the house, oh my God, and the house being so dirty, guys. I had a really bad way. Like, I almost died. Like, I cannot take them at all. Like, I cannot take them. George, no, like, yeah. 2018, twice I took them, and I ended up, I don't even tell you the story, but I'm so lucky to be alive. It was one of the worst situations I'd ever been in, and I've been doing drugs for over 25 years, and I've never put myself in a situation that I did in 2018, and that's when I realized, oh my God, my body's not the same anymore. Like, my system just wasn't, I can't take them. And so, yeah, I was addicted to pills too for a long time, but it was Percocets and Oxycontin. At the highest, I was taking 5 oxys a day, 5 oxy 80s. And they used to be $20, and they were $40. And I was taking 5 of them a day. I was snorting them at the time too. And then I started snorting coke with them. And I did that for a long time. But yeah, they fucked me up. And that's why I'm still on Suboxone to this day. And I hate myself for it, because I was on those pills. I couldn't go through withdrawal back in 2013, and that's when I started taking the no, not 2013, 2007. I started taking Suboxone. It wasn't until 2013 that I did them the right way. I stopped selling them and taking them, and now I'm addicted. I only take a tiny piece a day, and I feel like a scumbag. I haven't touched pills since literally 20. I haven't taken any like opiates since 2012ish, 13 maybe. I tried, and it didn't work because of the Suboxone, and I never tried again. And I did die in 2012 from dope. I did do heroin, and that's what happened. I did heroin after that, and then I tried to take Percocet at one point after that, and it didn't work. And thank God it didn't, because if I liked the way if I was ever to, I'd be afraid. But addiction transfers, and that's the problem. So say this girl is on something, right? She's obviously a self-medicator, and addiction transfers. It does. If you have self-medicating addiction like I did, it will transfer to something else. Like, if my first addiction was sex, didn't realize it. So I was shopping first when I was younger. First it was shopping, and then it was like, you know, shopping, like all this, like glam. Still is, because it was my first, and it's like my last. It's so crazy because I went back to that addiction now. But I went through a bunch of other ones. Like, I went from that to pills. I'm sorry, from shopping to sex to pills. To pills, to coke, to crack, to meth, to Xanax, and I died. And then I did a lot of dope. I smoked a lot of crack. I was homeless. I was selling them, doing them, and buying them. And I can't blame anybody but myself. But I self-medicated, and I partied with my dad, like my real dad, and that's the relationship we had. And he was an alcoholic. So I was trying to get my dad sober my whole life. I didn't understand addiction until I became the addict. And then I went through a time where I felt guilty for the way I treated my dad, because I hated him. And I always thought that he picked the alcohol over us. I hated my dad. No, I'm not anymore. I mean, I like my husband. I love having sex with my husband, but that stopped after I started doing pills. And then, like, I never tell anybody the story, but the person I was with for 20 years before George, he was married. And but I was with him since I was 15. Was my first, and that was the person that I was always with. And there's a reason the reason we didn't get married is because I didn't want to. He was going to be patched in with my dad, and I didn't want that. And he still did it anyway. Married somebody else, and I ended up being with him anyway. And then now he's in prison for life. So, but the whole addicted to sex was him, and I always did drugs with him, and I did. He was the one who always gave me money, and I would steal money from the club, and I stole money from my dad to shop. And addiction was bad, and then drugs was rapid. It ran rapid with me. I was not sober. I still have not been sober ever. Well, I'm lying. I was sober after I OD'd for 6 months. I did not smoke pot because I was still on probation and parole, so I could not smoke pot. So that was when I was completely sober, and that was in 2013 for 6 months. And then I don't know how I stayed. I smoked pop. I don't know how I did it, because when I met George, I started doing probation and parole the right way. I almost went away when I met George. I almost went back away because I was on a suspended sentence the whole time. I could do 10 years, or I was going to stay probation, but I ended up violating 3 times, and the third time was right after I met George. And the only reason it was a violation is because